One of the things I've done for my clients to help them significantly improve their wealth and standing in a community is to make their family name prominent. Hi, I'm Justin Hitt with Sustainable Wealth Secrets. There's likely a family in your neighborhood, in your community, that is well known for their wealth and fortune and their legacy in that community. Did you know that that kind of thing can be done for just about anybody's family? Even if you're new to town, you can position yourself in such a way to be the go-to person for charitable events, for activities, for advice and opportunity. Now, this could be the difference between you having a typical or average job and having that vice president position at a small regional business. It could mean being able to earn more in the community you're in rather than having to move for a new opportunity and being a stranger in a town. Maybe you love the town that you're in and you really want to stay, but your family is not as prominent and you keep getting passed over for opportunities. Well, there are simple ways to research your family history. So this is what I do for clients. So I will research their family history. I will find prominent events in their local community, and I will find ways to connect those activities. Now, you can invest in your community to get your name up on the leaderboard as far as prominence is concerned. And you may want to do this for your own reasons, not necessarily to be known. There are ways of becoming a prominent family without being out there. Most real wealth is not out there. They're not on Instagram, standing in front of fancy cars. They don't allow their children to have technology to take pictures of fancy things in the house. And most wealthy people don't actually have a lot of fancy stuff sitting around. Their money is working for them. Their dollars are out there earning dollars, and their money is doing something. But don't get me wrong here. Being known makes it more likely that you'll be sought after for an opportunity. Now, there's two sides of this, and you have to do this very carefully. You can't just go research stuff and then start broadcasting on Facebook. That's braggart. No, people don't really care. Your prominence comes from the chatter and the evidence that positions you as someone who deserves wealth, someone who wealth comes to them. Now, this sounds a little esoteric, but if you think about it this way, when an opportunity comes up in your community, the first thing someone is going to do is ask, who can help us get, or utilize or make this opportunity possible? They ask the question, who do you know who could help us with this opportunity? Now, if you're prominent in the means, meaning the outside world sees you as somebody who's got a lot of cash, you're going to constantly get bombarded by people who want charitable contributions. If you're seen as the best attorney, architect, or other professional in your community, you want people to come to you for services. So they come to you and pay you for the engagement rather than coming to you just for the next sponsorship or the next advertising buy. You can also make the mistake of thinking that getting your name out there is how you build prominence and you gain this top of mind exposure. Well, I'll tell you, the more exposure you get, the more likely you're going to freeze dead. The key to gaining prominence, the key to attracting wealth or opportunities, the key to keeping that wealth is tastefully presenting your family or your business in the community as a value add, as someone who can deliver solutions that elevate the whole. Now, this can go too far in one way and too far in another way. It could go too far in the socialist way, where people expect you to contribute because you've been given so much. They don't realize that, the people in the 1% are not the same people every year. You can get into the 1% at the day you retire, but a year later, you're poor because of taxes. Or someone in your family dies, and for a mere week and a half, you're wealthy until the estate taxes come in. There's a lot of points to consider. So you don't want to put yourself out there by flaunting capital. Now, I do have a program that talks about using charitable contributions to position yourself and gain access to individuals or to gain access to opportunities. you don't want to use that the wrong way, because $1,500 contributions here, $500 contributions there, eventually people will just come to you for the contribution, not come to you for the opportunity. You want to balance for the opportunity. Now, I use business development strategies where we improve the value of the business and the value the business delivers to customers. We use social engineering strategies where we connect the family to the historical context of the community or the customer. See, you can do this on a national scale by connecting with the customer. And we also do this through targeted strategic giving. Now, this could mean setting up a charitable foundation. Now, some major politicians have done this. They set up a charitable foundation. They funnel all of their proceeds to the charitable foundation in the early years. They use the charitable foundation to make sure they're getting out good advertising. And then as their wealth grows through that advertising and helping good causes, they get opportunities to speak. They get opportunities for prominence in other ways. All of that can be engineered. And there are people out there like me that help family offices, they help businesses, they help affluent individuals gain that prominence. Now, there's a wide variety of people on my newsletter and listening to this program right now. You might be a doctor who simply wants to be more prominent in the community as you near retirement. So you're doing well as a doctor. You've got a base of clients. Of course, there's 5 other doctors in the community. But as you retire, you want a nice board opportunity where you're going to go play golf and you're going to advise other doctors or organizations in your community. And now you're transitioning. You're really setting up to be the person they ask for when it comes to running a charity. Now, you might be doing this simply to have something to do in retirement. You might be, for example, a lawyer who has got a practice, but you're the young one in the office, and a lot of the others are retiring, and they have prominent names, and they have prominent recognition, but you're in your 30s or your 40s, and you're going to have to take over this law office. How do you transfer their credibility? How do you transfer their prominence to you as the person taking over the business? See, that's very important as well, because sometimes when a business changes ownership, it loses all of that social capital. And there's other considerations too. Perhaps you're starting a bank and you have funds available to lend. And now you're not an official bank. You're kind of a private investor. And you want the very best opportunities to show up to invest your money before they go on the market. Maybe you're buying farmland, for example. And you'd much rather a farmer work with you directly than work with the bank. Or worse, the farmer loses the farm to the bank because of a situation that you could have helped resolve. There's a lot of communities right now where the farms are actually owned by investors, and the farmers continue to farm until they're ready to retire. And that works great for the farmer, and it works great for the investor. But a good old boy farmer isn't going to work with just about anybody. And they're definitely not going to work with the city slicker. In fact, many farms are lost to banks and big real estate investment trusts because a good relationship couldn't be determined for that opportunity to transfer locally. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to increase the prominence of your family or your business to attract greater opportunities. But we can actually measure the value of the wealth in your equity or name. Now, this is measured by branding in some cases, but I measure it by how easy is it for you to get a handshake deal. Now, you're still going to put it in writing, by the way, but how often do people refer business to you? How often does your name come up in conversation in a positive way? How often when an organization has trouble with your area of expertise or subject matter expertise, how often does that organization come to you rather than shopping around? See, that has equity value in a community, in a customer base, and what will happen is you'll end up with more opportunities than you can deal with. I get situations all the time where someone says, hey, I let people know in my network, hey, I'm looking for some farmland, and all this farmland starts showing up. Now, some of it is outside of my price range. Some of it's outside of my geographical location, but it's showing up for pennies on the dollar because there's a relationship there. And they know what I'm going to do with the land. They know how I'm going to take care of the land. They know how I'm going to build this up and, in fact, enhance their family name. When I do these types of things, I do them for mutual benefit. I know some of you are thinking right now how you can make yourself look good and how you're going to be the hero, but you really can't think about it on singular terms. In very small scale, like small geographic regions, the more you can create a mutually win-win situation, the better everybody wins. And that way you have less objections. You have fewer enemies created. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap this up right here. The key to understand is that when you have a prominent position in a community, you're a pillar of the community, you're a go-to person in that community, opportunities tend to come to you. You gain value of wealth in both the relationships. So that's a part of that capital that we talk about in the different forms of capital. That is your relationship capital. And you get also monetary capital and wealth built through financial means as well. And you may even have insider opportunities that open doors for your children and allow you to create a legacy while you're cultivating this wealth. This is a very exciting thing for a lot of people. And if you've got any questions, I'm Justin Hitt with Sustainable Wealth Secrets. Visit me at www.sustainablewealthsecrets.com. We can talk about your unique situation and the opportunities that you'd like to see manifest for you. And we can also talk about specific strategies that are very tasteful and they can market a family, a business, or even a charitable organization that you'd like to have prominence in a community with. You'll find more resources at our website at www.sustainablewealthsecrets.com. And be sure to like and subscribe because evidently there are thousands of listeners and they're on my email list rather than liking and subscribing. So these messages do not get circulated well. They don't target very well. Now, of course, you're in the top 10%, top 20% income, an affluent individual who wants to transform their income into wealth. Stay tuned for more episodes. Be sure to ask your questions. And this is about your leverage of prominence in order to gain additional forms of capital. Thanks for listening.